Bismillahirrahmanirrahim.
Yali Madad. So, this is true and it is mercy of the Imam कि उन्होंने हमको somehow milaya and given us the opportunity to learn from each other. Otherwise, it does not matter how much we know or knew, it really didn't matter. Because if there's no one who can listen and who can learn, then what is the use of all this knowledge of the Imam? It will just go to waste if there is no one to receive this knowledge and forward it to somebody else. So not only we all, each one of us are students learning from each other, but we do have a responsibility on our shoulder to forward it to the next generation, especially our children, especially our family, especially our friends, and inshallah, even amongst the entire Jamaat. You know, it may take one person at a time, then so be it. But it is a great responsibility, and shukr to Mola Abba that he has done this for us and has given us this opportunity to talk about him and his secrets and the best tariqah that we have and the knowledge of the Imam, and we all know the levels of the knowledge. There is so much information out there today, and people do think just going online and reading about our tariqah is good enough. But there is just too much information, and in information there is a chance, a great chance, that it may not be correct. And then even within the knowledge, how do you find the wisdom within? And that's what we do over here. We are doing some kind of wisdom search to see if this knowledge makes any sense. Is there any logic to it? How do we fit that into our tariqah? How do we fit that into our own lives? Because this knowledge eventually will apply to our own life. So how do we do that? And that's what we are doing over here. That's the personal search the Imam talks about. This is a wisdom search that we talk about. And that's what this class is all about. It's about learning from each other. Every single time you guys ask question, we learn something new. So when do we get opportunity to learn? When you guys ask question. The better the question, and like Barkat said, if your question is not 100% there, don't worry about it. ये हमारा job है, right? It is our job to make sure the question is correct and then answer is given logically. So just ask away, keep doing what you're doing today, and we truly appreciate because आपके इस question के बगैर हम learn नहीं कर सकते थे. Our learning will stop. So what you guys are doing us a great favor by asking all these great questions. Thank you. G.
You want to start asking the questions?
Few questions from the class last time. Particular reason for Prophet Muhammad to marry Hazrat Khadija? What was the exact reason? Second question, for Prophet Adam, there was given kalimat by Allah. So were they similar to what Prophet Muhammad received, or how are they similar or different? Same with Prophet Ibrahim. What kind of ibadah Prophet Muhammad did to receive this type of elevation and revelation as well? How did Jibreel manifested himself in front of Prophet Muhammad? How did Prophet Muhammad knew that he was Jibreel? And what type of language did he use that Prophet Muhammad said that he didn't understand? Or what did he say to read which he could not read? for something to read, there has to be a writing. So was there written on something, or was it a verbal conversation? Did anyone else saw Jibril, because he kept coming for next 22 years? So did anyone else saw other than Prophet Muhammad? How did Prophet Muhammad's batin opened up? Ismi Azam is one of the Allah's names, so can we just pick up a name from Quran and Allah's name, and can we do the ibadat for that? How is it different than this Ismi Azam? How did it work for Prophet Muhammad if there was no Imam to give Ismi Azam? If person have no knowledge, and if he gets some elevation, and if he's on first heaven, if that was the purpose, if that was the goal, so are we fana fil Imam at that time? Um, First time, you talked about Islam or word Muslim, so was not used only at the time of Prophet Muhammad. It was Muslim word was used in the Quran before for Prophet Ibrahim as well. So what is correlation, right? Was it at that time or was it this time? And you talked about Islam's principle that Allah will always have guidance. So how do other people not able to see that guidance if it's promise of Allah? I think the question is like, if related to Ismi Azam on the first, so if Prophet Muhammad did not have the Ismi Azam or whatever ibadat he was doing, so were he worshipping idols at that time? What was before a revelation happened? What was that before that? What type of ibadat was before that? And then I think you answered this question about Quran being authentic. So you gave a reference of Sultan Muhammad Shah. I think that.
Subhanallah. 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 तो कौन सी लिस्ट हम इसका आगाज करेंगे एक एक करके?
तो आई थिंक सीक्वेंस में सबसे पहले जो क्वेश्चन करना चाहिए वो ये कि स्प्लिट ऑफ नूर और हु गिव इसमें आज़म के मुतालिक बात करने की ज़रूरत है कि इसमें आज़म से पहले क्या था. अगर आदम को भी इसमें आज़म मुताबिक कुरान दिया गया था तो हुज़ूर सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम के ज़माने में अगर इमाम नहीं थे तो उनको इसमें आज़म किसने दिया. इब्राहिम के लिए भी इसमें आज़म की बात आती है, तो पहले नूर और इसमें आज़म को डील करते हैं.
ठीक है. तो लेट्स टॉक अबाउट इसमें आज़म फर्स्ट. हमारे तरीके के अंदर वी बिलीव, and that is a good belief, that there is no time on this earth in which there was no Imam present. Even though on the physical side of it, or for our learning, we start the Imamat or the understand the Imamat starting from Mullah Ali Murtaza about 1400 years ago. And we sometimes think against our own belief that there were no Imams before Mullah Ali. If you look at one of the ayat in Quran, is 1771. Allah says, I will call all the people. Al-Nas ka word hoga wahan par. I call all the people on that day with their imams. With their imams. तो अगर कोई लोग who were born and died before Prophet Muhammad, or Mullah Ali, which Imam would they be called with if there were no Imams? And if we take the same question, that if there was no Imam before Mullah Ali, and Isme Azam can only be given by Imam of the time, then who gave Prophet Muhammad Isme Azam to perform the ibadat? I think we have a very good belief, and that is the true belief, that Imam are always present in this world, and that is exactly what Quran says too. That there are Imams, there is a guidance always present in this world. Agar aisa nahi hota, for whatever reason we think that there were no Imam before Mullah Ali, because in our learning for all these years, we never knew there were Imam before Mullah Ali. And someone can say, maybe there were Imams in Batin. Yeah, there would be a quick way of thinking that there were Imams in Batin, but not in Zahir. अगर बातिन में इमाम थे तो आर वी सेइंग कि वो नज़र नहीं आते थे इसलिए हम उसको बातिन में इमाम बोलते हैं? और अगर ये कॉन्सेप्ट आपके दिल में है तो व्हाट वी आर कंफर्मिंग कि इश्नाश्री व्हेन दे से कि हमारा इमाम बातिन में है, then you are confirming their belief. और हमारे खुद के बिलीव को हम रिजेक्ट कर रहे हैं काइंड ऑफ, क्योंकि अगर बातिन में इमाम से काम चल रहा था, इफ यू वर एबल टू डू अवे फॉर थाउजेंड्स ऑफ ईयर विदाउट द इमाम, देन व्हाई डू वी नीड हाजिर एंड मौजूद इमाम टुडे? So principle number 1, Allah's habit never changes. Allah's habit never changes. And if we understand this principle, there are a lot of answers and wisdom in this one single principle. Quran reference is 30. Surah Rum, ayat number 30. Ayatul Fitratul Allah.
Ayah Fitrat.
Ayah Fitrat. अगर अल्लाह की आदत कभी भी नहीं बदलती है तो क्या हम ये कहते हैं कि अल्लाह changed his mind, changed his habit, and then all of a sudden he decided to have an imam? That would be against the principle of the Quran and against the habit of Allah. Now let's come to the time of Adam. If Adam was given multiple Isme Azam, and you can see that in Quran, is in Surah Baqarah, ayat number 30 and onward, कि किस तरह से खुदावंद ताला ने आदम को इसमें आज़म इनायत फरमाए. नॉट एक इसमें आज़म, बल्कि बहुत सारे इसमें आज़म, मल्टीपल इसमें आज़म. अगर अल्लाह डायरेक्टली आदम को इसमें आज़म दे सकता है तो फिर हम सबको भी दे सकता है. अगेन वी डोंट नीड इमाम. तो what did we just learn? कि हो सकता है कि आदम से पहले भी इमाम मौजूद हो. क्योंकि इसमें आज़म देने का जो काम है, इसमें आज़म बिलोंग टू इसमें ज़ात. What does it mean? Isme Azam belongs to the Imam of the time. Imam of the time can give Isme Azam to the Mu'mineen or whoever seek to elevate themselves, then Imam grants the Isme Azam. अगर ये बात हम समझ गए कि आदम को भी अगर इसमें आदम मिले, then there must be an imam. और अगर ये बात समझ गए तो फिर प्रिंसिपल हमें क्या समझे कि हर ज़माने में इमाम थे. Maybe we just don't know. Maybe we haven't done our study the way we should have done our study. And that reminds me of Imam's Farman. Early on in this present Jama, Imam said, if you wanted to learn about your tariqah, if you wanted to know your tariqah, learn history. हिस्ट्री के अंदर कुछ किताबों के अंदर अगर आप जाके देखेंगे, फॉर एग्जांपल कसूसुल अंबिया, सरायर, वजह दीन, हमारे वो ताइयों और पीरों की किताबों को देखेंगे, it will tell you sometime with the names and sometime just by the name Imam. Sometimes there are names of the Imam and sometimes they just mention generically Imam of that time. And we are talking about the time before Mullah Ali. The very first time the word Imam was not used for Mullah Ali, but was used for Ibrahim. When Ibrahim was already a prophet, and Allah said, I tested him with multiple Isme Azam. And when he passed, I made him the Imam of the people. ये इब्राहिम की बात कर रहे हैं, यानी कि आज से 4000 साल पहले कि he was given, remember he was already a prophet, वो पैगंबर से पहले से ही. Then Allah gave him multiple Isme Azam and he tested him in that Isme Azam. क्या मतलब उसका टेस्ट लिया गया इसमें आजम में? वो स्कूल का टेस्ट की तरह नहीं था कि उसको इसमें आजम दिया फिर देखा कि उसको याद है कि नहीं है. उसको इसमें आजम दे गए और फिर उसने उस इसमें आजम को अपनी इबादत के अंदर मुकम्मल किया. जब वो इबादत के अंदर इसमें आजम के अंदर आगे आ गए, उस मकाम तक आ गए कि खुदावंद ताला ने फरमाया कि आज से तुम पूरी दुनिया के लोगों के इमाम हो. Because he has succeeded in his Isme Azam. And result of that, he was given the rank of the Imam of the people. Much earlier than Mullah Ali. If that is the case, that Ibrahim was made an Imam of the people, so did Allah change his mind again against his own habit? कि before Imam नहीं थे, Ibrahim को Imam बनाया, and then he said, it's okay, we don't need Imam anymore. And then for almost 2600 years there were no Imam. And then Mullah Ali came. Remember, Allah's habit don't change. The examples that we are using, and how do we know there were Imams always? So first, one of the Hadith and Nabawi, that my Nur and Ali's Nur was made 14,000 years before Adam came. Meaning, long time before even Adam came. अगर उनका नूर ऑलरेडी एग्जिस्ट करता था और वही नूर आदम में रखा गया, तो आदम में किस तरह से उसका नूर रखा गया होगा? How does Imam gives us nur? If Imam wanted to give us nur, what does he do? What is the medium does he use? What is the tool does he use? Isme Azam. He gives his Isme Azam. Right? So secret to take it home. The instant Imam gives you the Isme Azam, Imam also gives you the nur at the same second.
Wow.
How does he do it? Just think, I can only give you an example to ponder on. Let's say Isme Azam is a piece of paper. He puts his nur in the piece of paper and he wraps it in the piece of paper and he hands you that Isme Azam. Now when you recite the Isme Azam and if you unveil it, if you open the Isme Azam, what will you have? Or what would you see? The nur that he had already given you. उसके लिए एक आयत आपको कुरान के अंदर मिलेंगी कि खुदा का हर काम जो है ना वो डन है.
वादा मफूल.
दोबारा से रिपीट करें.
वादा मफूल. His promise is already done.
ऐसा नहीं है कि इसमें आज़म दिया है फिर वो इंतजार करेगा और बाद में जाके कहीं नूर देगा. ऐसा नहीं है. ये तो हम ऐसा काम करते हैं कि पहले हम कोई एक चीज करते हैं फिर आगे जाके इसका रिजल्ट आता है. When Imam does something, he does the complete work, complete job. As soon as he gives you Isme Azam, the nur was inside, hidden in that Isme Azam. Only thing we had to do was to recite it honestly, the way he wants us to recite, and practice. Now think of this Farman and see if that makes sense to you. There is no failure. You know why there is no failure?
Because he gave it to you.
Because he already had given to you.
Subhanallah.
How much happiness does that bring to us? There are all of us who have received this Isme Azam already have the nur of the Imam in us. How did he give to us? Through the ears. यहाँ से उसका नूर दाखिल हो गया. So we learned second thing today. How does nur enters in a moment's body? Through the air.
Yes.
ठीक है? Okay.
Example of a seed.
जी. Now, come back to the question again. That how and where did he receive his Isme Azam from? And if you already know and believe that there were Imams before Mullah Ali, then we need one last thing, and that is a Quranic proof, an ayat that shows us that there were Imam before Mullah Ali. The first ayat we already said, 1771. There will always be Imam for all the people. And second one is 3/33. Surah Al Imran, ayat number 33. क्या है ये निकाल के पढ़े?
अल्लाह ने आदम और नूह और आले इब्राहिम और आले इमरान को तमाम दुनिया वालों पर तरजीह देकर मुंतखब किया था.
3/33. Allah chose Adam and Noah, the family of Abraham and the family of Imran, above all people.
सुभान
So यहाँ पर जहाँ पर कहा कि इब्राहिम and his progeny, यानी कि इब्राहिम से इस्माइल से जो progeny निकली, that is the progeny of Prophet Muhammad. and there is a progeny of all his आबे अजदा को क्या कहते हैं
Ancestors.
ancestors. तो यानी कि प्रॉफिट मोहम्मद के वालिद जो थे अब्दुल्ला और उनके वालिद जो थे अबू मुत्तलिब, उनका क्या रैंक होगा? What do you think they were?
Nurun Allah Nur.
Nuran Allah Nur. What is the difference of them?
Say it loudly.
24-35.
Good.
अगर Ibrahim was an imam, then Ismail would be an imam. The principle of Nuran Allah Nur.
Subhanallah.
अगर ये बात है तो इसका मतलब है कि उसके सारे बेटे एक के बाद इमाम हो गए until it came to Abdullah. माफी, अबू मुत्तलिब. यहाँ से आपका सेकंड क्वेश्चन शुरू हो गया. How do we understand splitting of two nur? अगर हम इब्राहिम के किस्से के अंदर चलते हैं, if we go back to the Ibrahim, Ibrahim also had two sons, Isaac and Ismail. And Ibrahim had two ranks of prophethood and imamat. He gave one of these Amr to Isaac, the prophethood. He gave his second Amr, the imamat, to Ismail.
Subhanallah.
A principle to learn and remember. All imams are also prophets, but all prophets are not imam. कौन रिपीट करेगा इसको?
आलिया.
So I know कि समझ गए आप.
Alia, would you like
Alia, did you understand what I just said? Can you repeat that?
All imams are also prophets, but not all prophets are also imams.
So in other words, Imam is a higher rank than Prophet.
We'll come to that in a second. Good question. There's another question now. All prophets, all imams are also prophet, but not necessarily all prophets are imam. अच्छा, तो जहाँ पर खुदा ताला ने फरमाया कि मैंने ऑलरेडी सेलेक्ट किए हैं, आई हैव प्री सेलेक्टेड द फैमिली और द प्रोजेनी ऑफ द इब्राहिम, तो यहाँ से पता चल गया कि इमामत जो है ना इस लाइन से चलने वाली है. So when Noor came to Abu Muttalib, Nuran Allah Noor, one after the other, to Abu Muttalib, and then he had two sons, Abdullah and Abu Muttalib.
Abu Talib.
Abdullah and Abu Talib. Abdullah became Imam Musoda, interested Imam, and Abu Talib became Imam Musakkar, permanent Imam.
Subhanallah.
आपने देखा कि यहाँ पर नूर का दो हिस्सों में तकसीम होने की बात है. We are talking about the division of two nur. Because we are living in a physical world, in a physical body, in a time, in a space, to us, everything has to be either one or two or three. Meaning, अगर मैं कहता हूँ कि मैं यहाँ हूँ, तो मैं ये कह रहा हूँ कि मैं वहाँ नहीं हूँ. अगर नूर यहाँ है, तो नूर वहाँ नहीं है. Do you understand the example? In the physical world, एक चीज यहाँ हो सकती है, यहाँ वहाँ हो सकती है. You will be here or there, because that is the limitation of physical world. But when we are talking about Noor, and I think we already established that when Imam gave us Isme Azam, he also gave us his Noor. So does not Imam has Noor anymore because he already given to us? So we already knew the answer to that. The Noor is omnipresent.
Subhanallah.
When Imam can give us the Noor, he still have all his Noor. So let's take the example of the sun. When the day will break, the sun rays will come on the earth. At that time, the sun is less of a sun because all the sun rays on the earth?
No.
नहीं, right? ये नूर की एक मिसाल है. इमाम इज एग्जाम्पल ऑफ द सन और हमारे सब के अंदर एक एक रे है, नूर की एक एक तजल्ली है, एक एक रोशनी है, एक एक स्पार्क है. तो जब हम कहते हैं कि अबू मुत्तलिब से नूर के दो हिस्से हुए, तो हम क्या कहते हैं कि उस एक इमाम मुसक्कर से, परमानेंट इमाम से दो इमाम बन गए. लेकिन एक इमाम मुस्तौदा था और एक इमाम मुसक्कर था. वन वॉज इंटरेस्टेड इमाम, अदर वन वॉज परमानेंट इमाम. लेट्स अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट डज इट मीन इंटरेस्टेड इमाम एंड परमानेंट इमाम. इंटरेस्टेड इमाम उस इमाम को कहते हैं कि जिसके बाद उसका बेटा इमाम नहीं होता है. परमानेंट इमाम मुसक्कर उस इमाम को कहते हैं कि जिसका बाप भी इमाम हो, जिसका बेटा भी इमाम हो.
Subhanallah.
द प्रिंसिपल ऑफ नूरन अल्लाह नूर. चूंकि अबू तालिब का बेटा इमाम था मौला अली, उसका वालिद अबू मुत्तलिब इमाम था, तो किसी को हमको बोलने की जरूरत नहीं पड़ी कि उसका टाइटल, एंड आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट जस्ट द टाइटल, बिकॉज at the level of the Noor, they were all Noorani family, they were all same. Just the function of the Imam. The function of the Imam. The function of the Imam Musakkar is to have Imam after him. Function of the Imam Mustada is to return the trust back to Imam Musakkar.
Subhanallah.
So when the Noor came from Abu Muttalib into Abdullah, he took that Amr from his father and returned it back to Imam Musakkar, Abu Talib, his brother. We have another example of that in our history. Imam Hassan and Imam Hussein. Imam Hassan was what kind of Imam? Interested Imam. I didn't even have to tell you that. Or Imam Hussein was what kind of Imam? क्यों? कि उसका बाप भी इमाम था और उसका बेटा भी इमाम था. So what we are learning? We are just learning the principles. बाकी हमको कुछ याद करने की जरूरत नहीं है. We just need to understand the principle of the imamat and principle of the Nur Allah Nur. तो यहाँ से वो नूर स्प्लिट हुआ, because Nur is omnipresent. It could have been on 2, 3, 4 और पंचतन पाक, सब में नूर था. तो अब हम कह सकते हैं कि वो तो नूर 5 के अंदर था. एट ए टाइम प्रॉफिट मोहम्मद में भी था, मौला अली में भी था, बीवी फातिमा में भी था, इमाम हसन में भी था, इमाम हुसैन में भी था, सब में नूर था. एट द टाइम ऑफ पंचतन पाक अगर उस नूर को हम 5 हिस्सों में गिन सकते हैं, एंड वी वुड हैव नो प्रॉब्लम एंड नो ऑब्जेक्शन, क्योंकि वी अंडरस्टैंड कि नूरानी फैमिली बोलने का मतलब ही यही होता है. आज हम जब कहते हैं नूरानी फैमिली, तो इसका क्या मतलब हो गया कि इमाम का नूर इमाम की फैमिली के अंदर भी है. इमाम अकेले नहीं है नूर के मालिक. Yeah, Imam is not the only one with the light. His Nurani family also have the light. क्योंकि लाइट किसी को देने से कम नहीं हो जाती है. लाइट किसी को देने से कम नहीं हो जाती है. It's the same. अगेन एग्जाम्पल ऑफ द सन, वो हमारे प्लैनेट को भी रोशनी पहुंचाता है, दूसरे सारे प्लैनेट को रोशनी पहुंचाता है, लेकिन उसको कोई मसला नहीं है, उसके अंदर कोई कमी नहीं आती है. It does not decrease because he has given you the light. तो यहाँ पर आपके दो मेजर सवालों का जवाब मिल गया कि मोहम्मद को इस्म आज़म किसने दिया होगा और नूर के जो स्प्लिट होने की बात थी वो किस तरह से थी. अब आखिरी क्वेश्चन बच गया कि नाम के प्रॉफिट मोहम्मद को who or which imam had given this Ism Azam. We understand imam must have given this Ism Azam because imams were present before Mawla Ali. अगर कोई कहता है, there's another principle I just remember, that no, we only believe from the imam and from the imam Mawla Ali. We don't believe there were imam before Mawla Ali. What we are saying indirectly, that Mawla Ali was not a true imam, not imam बरहक. क्योंकि इमाम बरहक, द ट्रूथ इमाम की एक निशानी ये होती है कि वो हमेशा नूरन अला नूर होता है, मीनिंग फादर इमाम सन इमाम. हमारी हिस्ट्री में हमने देखा है कि अगर किसी ने इनकरेक्टली फॉल्सली इमामत का दावा किया, उसकी प्रोजेनी में कभी भी मेल्स नहीं होते. फिर इमाम का जो एक मिरेकल है, हाउ डू वी नो इमाम इज इमाम बरक, ही ऑलवेज विल हैव अ मेल प्रोजेनी. तो इन हिस्ट्री वेन एवर पीपल falsely have claimed to be imam, they lose their progeny. They will not have male progeny anymore and they will not be able to continue. आज हम देख रहे हैं, and we are talking about from Ibrahim to Hazrat Imam. If anybody needs to know who gave Ibrahim Ism Azam, then I'm sure हमारे दाइयों ने, हमारे उज्जतान ने, पीरों ने हमको उनके नाम भी दिए होंगे. The Imam before Ibrahim, because Ibrahim must have received Ism Azam from somebody. And then somebody says, what about Adam? Adam has received Ism Azam, so do we have a name of the Imam before Adam? I'm sure हमारे दाइयों ने, हमारे पीरों ने उनके नाम भी लिखे होंगे. He would not have left us without the true knowledge of our tariqah. Again, remember Mullah said, if you want to learn your religion, learn history. And that is our history. So I'm going to take a break over here and then we'll go to the third question.